qué rico, rico, rico.
Yo, what's good? You already know the vibes, man. It's Jordiii from the South Bronx.
Yeah.
It's your boy Ape in the Flesh on El Punto, the radio show and podcast, powered and hosted by Chris Gotti, Don Dinero, Dex Diamonds, Ape in the Flesh, and Piggy McCoy. Tune in, the hottest radio show you ever want to see. Peace and love.
We gotta be on, Dex.
Yeah, we back. Marvls had me confused. I didn't know if that was a drop, if he was still coming back with music.
Get my mic on, nigga. I'm standing pause.
You know his music.
Don't even touch my mic.
Don't just put my shit on, not you per se.
So it's so
easy. Come on, Zach.
Right
bring
along.
somebody in,
All
man.
right, let's go. All right.
Go ahead, Zach.
All right, we got Jordiii. He's doing the seminars and he's wrote for many people in the industry, as he told me and Dex a few minutes ago. Welcome to the show. I know we got a lot to talk about.
Got
a
a
lot
man,
to
Jordiii.
discuss.
What's good,
Yeah,
Jordiii?
what's
Give him
good,
some claps,
baby?
Marv. Let's go.
All right, Jordiii. Welcome to the El Punto. Artist, producer, creative developer.
He's gonna go into all of the shit he do.
He has worked with like artists like Chris Brown,
Yes.
Omarion, Toni
Say it
Braxton,
again.
just to name a few. You know what I'm saying? Like Zach told you, he developed courses, to help children with their reading scores. He also has, different mentorship programs where, he helped artists, the writers especially, overcome what's called writer's block.
Yeah, he said writer's block doesn't
He
exist.
says it does not exist.
Right.
So welcome to the show again, Jordiii.
I want to get into that
Let's
too.
get right- Let's get right into that
I
right there.
can't write. I got writer's block all
Hold
the
on.
time.
Before you start, I just want to get something out the way, right? And you look like you have some Latin descent. So I'm just letting you know, expect to be probably drafted amongst my colleagues here tonight. So giving you this disclaimer.
This is a bilingual show. If you
By
want to speak
20
Spanish, you can.
One of the reasons
One
they're building the wall, and one of the reasons they pass these abortion is because by 2045, the United States would be predominantly Latino. I'm just looking at the numbers.
No, that's a fact.
It's a fact.
You know what I'm
Numbers
saying?
don't
So-
lie, but
So,
they
so
don't
to go
always
into
tell
my
the truth.
adventure music, the reason I put it Latin division
right.
is because
That's
I
right.
understood
He
that
understood that.
years ago.
Exactly.
And I said, as soon as I started, I got to address the Latin
Division.
community and
This is
put a
on it.
person in because I know that's what it's just growth.
I'm
It's
letting
just
the, I'm
numbers.
letting
are
the, I'm
brothers
letting
and
the
sisters.
Anglo side take a little lead right now when the shit when the app goes out. So
Take it easy. I always got to remind
I'm
them.
gonna
Take it
be in
easy.
Puerto Rico saying, Chris,
One of
how
the-
the numbers look this month?
Yeah.
One of the first questions already coming in is, what do you mean writer's block don't exist? So like once again, let's
No,
jump
we got to
right
get
into
into that. That's a big statement. Like,
All right. So,
'cause-
generally speaking, writer's block is when someone believes that ideas are just not coming in, right?
Yes.
And that's not the case. That's never the case. I mean, if you got a brain that's working, then ideas are always coming in.
That's a
In
fact.
fact, they're always flooding in, right?
But when I hear writers, I'm just giving you my opinion. When
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hear,
yeah.
that day we did a similar. He did a event. Shout out to Jay Hatch, and
Shout out
what
Jay
I
Hatch.
Stand It
I
D.
Stand
You
It,
know, I
yeah,
Stand
man.
It, man.
They're doing their
Incredible
thing.
organization doing their thing.
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
get Jay Hatch up here too. But
Got to.
me and Jordiii, we linked up again that day. But when he said that, and I didn't get a chance to bring that up. Like that day in the event, but in my head, like when I hear writer's block, see, I'm old school. I don't think of ideas. It's really writer's block is songs. So we're not talking about just ideas. We're
Right,
talking about how to form song. So words to make sense of a topic
Correct.
is a writer's block.
Correct.
And that to me exists, but you said it doesn't. It's like just because someone rhymes doesn't make it good or effective to be a song. Like this is one of the biggest problems to me with the music today is because everyone could do it.
Right.
So it's very accessible, let's say, for everyone to do it. So you're getting subpar. It's just people are better at things than others. Writing is one of them.
That's a fact.
Right? There's a Shakespeare and all of they consider as these great writers.
Right.
There's, and then if you talk of music, there's people like a Jay-Z versus other artists that are not as talented in the writing category, as witty,
Right.
And that to me is where a writer's block. And I seen it with artists. I won't name them out, call them out. Big name artists that get on a song. We have a topic, we have a hook even, and they like, yo, I gotta come back tomorrow. I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
And they can't figure out, and that's because they're trying to form a song, not just write something down to raps that rhymes.
Right.
And that to me is what you get today, and that's why maybe there isn't writer's block today because of that, because they always could make something rap and rhyme, but it doesn't make sense all the time, or you know, that's the era we're coming from. Like I'm coming from, it had to really make sense and put it. So if even if you rhymed and it wasn't there, you were like, I got to do that over.
Right.
You know.
But when I hear you say, I don't mean to cut you off.
I'm not an artist though.
When I hear you say writer's block, and the first thing that pops up is someone who's already not just a rapper, could be someone who writes books, could be a script writer.
Yes.
Correct.
Someone who's already been successful, and now they're stuck because they can't deliver the work that they used to deliver. Right? Because when you mention, you know, if you're first time in the studio, you can't have fucking writer's block. Right? Think about it.
You could hold on.
Them artists that you talking about
again.
Listen.
Listen, you could, and you could be scared, right?
No, that's different.
You could be intimidated, and then that fear causes that writer's block.
I think those artists.
I've seen that too, where an artist that might have been really dope in the room, and then all of a sudden you don't even want to say the whack shit you about to say. And that continues today, because if you hear someone nice, you get intimidated.
Right.
You're like, damn.
I'm
not an artist. I'm not an artist, but I've seen it countless times. So that's to me form of that writer's block, because they
comes down to
they're not confident in their own
competitive
shit.
nature. We come from a different era. Where
do you, Chris?
Yes.
Do you cook?
I do.
So you're an artist.
Yeah, well, I'm an artist in different. I'm a creative artist. Look, I have adventure music.
Correct.
I have artistry.
Hey, you're gonna start thinking a bunch of people are artists. Don't say that shit. Don't diminish the artistry of being an artist.
All right.
If you can cook,
a painter, an
good
author.
for you. You can feed yourself.
That's
do not mean you're
I can
artist.
make a hella peanut butter and
Doesn't
jelly.
mean you're
my
a
man.
chef. Doesn't
Make
mean
your
you're a
bed.
chef.
That's
Portion
a
it,
form of
all
artistry.
the right peanut butter matters. You know what I'm saying? The
So
jelly,
look,
not too much
science-
jelly, so it doesn't spill out like. I'm
In other
dope
words,
with that
because
shit,
you're
yo.
a cook doesn't make you a chef.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if it's a form of creativity, right?
Right.
So
It is.
So it's getting dressed every day, right? If depending on
Is
who
it?
you are.
Really
Yes, it
depending
is.
on who
You gotta
you
pick
No,
the.
it depends who you are. Because
Yeah.
me, I'm very
Sure.
basic.
I was gonna say.
Look,
I was gonna
look,
use an example.
I'm very plain. I'm
Sure.
not
a lot of people.
Some
think
people
a
Can
lot
I
of-
eat your-
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
And they're very artistry.
He'll be
And
the
and
De
He'll
Niro
be the
only
witness
wears
for me.
Cuban Connection
Hold on,
approved
though.
apparel.
He'll be the witness for me. That's the hardest part of my day,
That
Wow.
he got too much
of
shit
getting
to think
up
about.
and getting dressed.
Wow.
It's crazy. I'll sit and look
We'll
in
be
my
on the road,
closet.
and I'm not gonna lie.
He'll tell you, stay in the
Yo,
mic, stay in the
We'll
mic.
be on the
Pause.
road, and when he unloads his bags,
Yeah.
he's got about
4 bags.
a whole month worth of fucking
That's a
clothes.
fact.
Right? And we might only be on the road for
5
5
days.
days.
That's a fact.
Right? Because,
crazy.
because.
Hold on, then
if
what
you
do I
understand-
do?
Wait, well, if you understand Chris's mentality, he'd rather have it and not need it.
Right.
Yeah,
Of course.
so
Naturally.
that's a boss
Better
being
to be
prepared.
prepared.
But he'll sit there and
Every
in the
morning. Every
he
morning.
does not know. I say, all right, what's the event? All right, fuck it, let's go jeans. What's
He's
the
my
weather?
stylist.
I look at the thing. I said, listen, always go because sometimes he has the white uptowns, right? I go white t-shirt. Like we'll just because again, Chris is not someone, and he has mad dope shit. You know those clothes they give him shit he
I
buys.
get mad
He'll
free
go,
shit.
Hey, what'd you spend?
I wear the same
I went to
shit.
the store up and I spent $700 on 3 pairs. I'm
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker. And shit, and then he'll throw on the jeans and be like, I don't think that, because I remember with the switch.
Oh, my
When
God.
it was getting a little tight.
So
what
that's
I'm
the
saying is-
artistry for me. It's like
yeah.
getting dressed when you say that is really crazy for me.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I think is when it comes to writer's block, I think most of the time, and we're not talking about when I approach writer's block and I approach creativity, I don't necessarily approach it from a point of making a career out of it,
Yeah.
right? Because to make a career out of it, and I'm sorry, anybody can make a career out of it. Like you said, people are just putting. You feel like people are just putting whatever kind of music out, and they're, making it happen.
Yeah. They're not even writing anymore.
Right. That's different. Making a career, making a living from it is different from having longevity, right? So who are the ones that have the most longevity? The people who love what they do,
Right.
the people
Yeah.
who are passionate, the people
Taking
who
the most
are-
serious.
right, who are more anything,
but they're
having
making
fun.
money from their music.
Right, but more than anything, they're having fun, right? So
making money doing what they love.
correct.
Right,
So
'cause
my idea behind
the broke guy who's not making money, he's got writer's block like a motherfucker.
not really. I mean, maybe. But here's the thing, right? We just give too much power to criticism, and we always have.
That's
right?
a fact.
And even before the outside world judges us, we already put so much filters in what we're putting out before
Facts.
it reaches anybody else's, eyes or ears or senses, whatever.
Right.
And I believe that a person suffering from what they think is writer's block or creative block is genuinely just being too critical, right? So I believe in a duality in every creative, right? There's like the kid who's the creative. He's like this 4-year-old, right? Playing in the sand lot. He's playing with the sand. He's making castles. Maybe he got some blocks. He's putting that all together. And the critic is this fucking 40-some-odd-year-old dude who's seen it all, done it all, and he's super jaded. And he comes in and he sees it like, yo, what the fuck are you creating? Like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. This is fucking shitty. And kicks it, probably stomps on
But
the
aren't
sand.
aren't all creators very particular in what they're
Very
creating?
sensitive.
Right. So
And you can't get them off their shit. When I think of a creative, I think of Kanye,
okay, yeah.
right? A super creative. It's just he's
Absolutely.
super talented, but
Right.
he's the epitome. Like if I hear the word artist, for some reason I just put Kanye's face
Right.
Yeah.
next to that. Like
Right.
that's his. That's how I identify. Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Or someone like that because
Right.
he's super particular in what he's doing, how his approach is,
Right.
what he wants.
Right.
No care of costs, people around him. It's all about the vision of what he wants to get out to the world.
Right.
And that's it.
And that's right. And that's his brand.
And
That's
there's no
his-
right or wrong answer.
Correct.
See, that's the freedom an artist really has. There is no right or
That's
wrong
true.
answer.
So long as they're
So it
expressing
only
themselves.
it only exists in their mind.
Correct.
And
So
that's it.
so the duality is that
You got to explain duality. I didn't go to college.
sorry.
brother.
We didn't go to college.
College word.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Dual.
So
Yeah.
duality basically means like both sides
Okay.
of it, right? So
Alright.
both sides of it is that, the overly critical, we give the critic too much power, right? So right before we even write anything down, we're already saying like, nah, that's been done already.
Yeah.
Nah, that's been said already. Nah, this sounds like this. Nah,
Especially
it reminds
in
me a little
music.
bit too much like this. Nah, it kind of looks like this, and we stop ourselves completely from creating anything, putting anything down on paper, putting anything on canvas, putting anything in the computer, singing anything. We stop ourselves completely.
Because you're
before
trying to be original in a way. When
Yeah,
you say it's been done before,
and
the
it's a
artist is-
facade because originality is not real. Everybody pulls from something,
I agree.
from experiences, from an aesthetic, somebody's clothes.
Every idea is really synthetic. It comes from something
Agreed.
else. Yeah.
Agreed.
That's a big
Completely.
word, synthetic.
Yeah, there we go. No,
Big word.
no college degree needed.
First
for that.
three, first three letters
You know
in
what I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
And I just firmly believe that in order to get longevity in this, you can't be in a creative place, a career without having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like the money's gonna come, but if you make it about money, it's gonna end
Yeah,
very
make it
fast
about
for
the
you.
dream.
So
You
let me
know?
ask you, Joy, how you're from the BX?
I'm from the Bronx. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're from
South
the Bronx,
Yeah,
right? And how did a guy from the Bronx, a young man such as yourself, get to your music to like Chris Brown and to Omarion? It's a lot of listeners hitting me up
Oh.
right now, and like,
Dope.
yo, how he get it? Where can I
Understood.
find it? How did he get it? How did you?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was your approach?
So, when I first started, I started as an A&R for a management company. It was started in my on my block. It was this dude at the time. He was managing an artist signed to Bad Boy, who was part of a group, what you may call a shelf artist, and another one signed to J Records. And he let me listen to the music without me knowing who the artist was, and I kind of gave him input. He was just like, "Yo, I really like your ear. How about you come and help me be the A&R for this management company?" So I started with that. It was kind of yeah, it was
That's a
kind of cool.
blessing.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got to run around with him and learn a little bit about the industry. I didn't learn enough sadly. But I met up with this guy named Charles Perry, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the greatest singers of all time. And we went to church together, and we also worked together. So one day we were leaving work, and Justin Timberlake's "Like I Love You" was out, and I sang a part of it. And he's like, "Jordiii, you can sing." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you can sing." And I'm like, "Nah." And he's like, "Yeah, man. Yo, let me give you vocal lessons." I was like, And he's like, "Yo, I'll do it for free." I was like, "All right, bet. I'm there." You know what I'm saying? So I
Free
got
99 gets them every time.
yeah. So I got vocal coaching with him, man.
See?
Got my stuff together. Started putting songs together. And I hit MySpace up. So I was on MySpace heavy.
You talking about a minute ago?
Yeah. It was a little while, but I've been doing this about 13 years now.
Okay.
So through there, I met a manager who introduced me to Carl Thomas. When I met him, funny dude, went to his house in Teaneck. He had a studio in the basement. I let him hear some of the songs that I did. He was interested in like just one song in particular. A song that I later placed with him called "One Love," and when we recorded it, I didn't know how to arrange at the time, vocally arrange. So he was like, "Yo, can I bring somebody in to arrange it?"
Right.
A couple of weeks later, I randomly, or as the universe should have it, I hit up Troy Taylor. I don't know if you know who Troy Taylor is. He's behind he's Trey Songz. Trey Songz is signed to his production company, Songbook.
Okay.
But anyway, at the time, Trey wasn't even out just yet, and I hit him up because I used to read Jackets and I know of his name or whatever. I know
Jackets,
he's
you mean the stuff that's
right,
on,
and the
on
CDs,
the back of the
right.
CD
Yeah,
cover.
yeah.
For those people, millenniums who might not know what he's talking about when he say jacket.
Yeah. So basically, I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, I love your stuff," and I had some of my music on my MySpace page. He's like, "Yo, I like this. You got some of your top people. I know them. Like, do you know them personally, or you just put them in?" I'm like, "Yeah. Well, I just did a song called Thomas." He's like, "Yo, take my number down. Give me a call." I spoke to him. He was like, "Yo, so what song did you do for Carl Thomas?" I said, "Yeah, I did this song called One Love." He's like, "You didn't do One Love." I said, "Yeah, I did One Love." He's like, "Yo, hold on a second." He three-ways call. And he's like, "Yo, Carl, I got this kid here named Jordiii." He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's the little dude I told you that did One Love with me, whatever." He's like, "All right, Carl, I'm going to call you back." Gets back on the phone with me. He's like, "Yo, would you like to fly out to Dallas and just get some work done with me?" I'm like, "Yo, dope." So he flew me out to Dallas, and I was in there. He had a studio right next to his house.
No writer's block.
No writer's block. No writer's block. And I was in there with a young Trey Songz, B Major, Brandon Hines, just a couple of people. And, from there, I met this kid named Stilo Brim. Actually, he co-hosts. Yeah, he co-hosts Ridiculousness now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his brother's a really great songwriter too. Met up with Hit Boy from there. Me and Hit Boy got up, and he was like, "Yo, Chris is gonna be here in like 3 hours, and I'm trying to put some stuff together." So I did this song called "Froze" for him 3 hours before Chris got there. And Chris got there, heard the song. He was like, "Yo, I love this. Let's cut it." And from there,
Sounds like you was born for this, man.
Man, you gotta convince yourself this thing every day, man.
So I
You know what I'm
see
saying?
Toni Braxton on here as well.
Yeah. So I did a funny story with that. I did this joint called Hero with her on the Pulse album. But when I met her, the night before, I got bit up by bed bugs. I was staying at this Fleabag motel on
the Trap Hotel.
Yeah. It was on
Red Roof Inn.
It was on Sunset Boulevard. No. It was like some rinky dink. Like now, all of that shit was like a couple years
It's
ago.
gone now.
Yeah, that shit's gone now. But I got bitten up, so I didn't know anything about Benadryl. But my homie Big Billy Clark was like, "Yo, take some Benadryl." You know what I'm saying? That shit'll. And I was like, "All right, yeah, I got this session." I put this scarf around my shit. I was looking mad fancy.
Yeah.
I went in there and I was like drowsy as a motherfucker. She came in, she had like a box of KFCs eating. She's like, "Hey, yo, what's up? Like, I love the song. Like, let's go in there and cut it." And I was just, she's like, "You okay?" I'm like, yeah, I just took some Benadryl. Yeah, I should look like I had like 3 necks.
Hives.
Yeah.
Oh,
allergic
man.
reaction.
And she still was fucking with you.
Yo, she was
The record, hey, that record was
Yo,
hot.
she was
The
so
record was
amazing,
hot,
man.
yo.
She was so amazing and humble, man.
If the writer's block don't get you, the bed bugs you
That's
will.
a fact.
I seen artists walk up many steep flights of steps to produce records that came out of our production company.
Oh, yeah.
They knew what was up. They
Tiptoe
knew
up
what,
in
they
the
knew
crack
what was
house.
up. I mean, reputable artists. at that.
Yeah, they would
crazy,
come
man.
tiptoeing up there with their high heels on and their pumps and shit.
Crazy, bro.
Holding their little dogs.
Have
What's
you-
wrong with the elevator? It's broke.
But the producers upstairs.
Oh, but the hit, they'll come anywhere for the hit.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So what you do with the young artists that don't have the connects? That they kind of have a talent, but they can't get to like a Chris Gotti or Don Dinero or
UPS
Chris
is hiring,
Brown.
Billy.
Well, another part of me that was mentioned earlier is I hold workshops.
What's the name of your workshop?
It's called The Right Way.
The Right Way.
Nice.
Yeah. The next one is in Philly. I actually partnered
Yeah,
up
I
with
think I'm
Rec
going to go
Philly.
out for that.
All right.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
What's the date
But
on
it's,
that?
no, it's
The
the
15th.
It's the 15th. It's before
June?
Father's Day. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. We talked about that.
Yeah, June 15th.
That's a Saturday.
I'm stuck. I can't
Yeah,
do it.
that's a
Okay.
Saturday. Yeah, any of you guys are welcome, man. I'll give you my man for when you're done.
Give
You-
everybody
just
your
come in.
not your man, but if you give everybody your
Yo,
social
so
network while we are
my Instagram is Jordigram, so it's JORD 3 I's IIIGRAM. And yeah, just hit me up there, man. I respond to every message.
So in
sent.
this right way, what do you do? Explain. Walk through the workshop because I know what it is, but for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
listeners,
So
like walk through the workshop and why it's so valuable for someone to come to it.
yeah, well, what I do is I like to cater to like the creative, you know. We don't. If you want to like, we have a little segment that we cater to the business of it all. We talk about like publishing, you know. We talk about royalties, mechanical performance royalties, how you get paid, or
Education.
whatever. Right. But for the most of it, I like to just develop the creative. So I have like little exercises that we do in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Just exercises you can do throughout the day to kind of help get the creativity
like mental
flowing.
exercises.
Mental exercises, but then there's also some exercises that you could do on just if you buy yourself a loose leaf paper, loose leaf notebook, you can do the exercises.
Oh,
Every
okay.
exercise. But yeah, it's super introspective, man. It's mainly about just connecting with your true creativity, and you don't got to be a writer. I've had producers come into. I've had painters. I had a girl who's a sculptor.
Right.
So it's not only about songwriters.
So it's for all artists.
Right.
Okay.
That's just any. If you're in the creative field, man, then you need to stop by.
Okay.
For sure.
I got a question for you. So you never had writer's block.
Never.
Never.
Ever.
So it's always clicking.
Always.
All right.
Yeah. See, so one thing also, man, is like there's a couple of things that may be going on that you may think is writer's block.
Right.
Either you're bored
Right.
and you need to, like I was telling
You're
you
not
outside,
inspired.
You're not inspired. You need to go take a walk. You need to take a month off or something. It doesn't mean you love music any less. It doesn't mean anything. You just need to reconnect with your creative self.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, take yourself out on dates.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By yourself, literally. Even if you go to the
I
restaurant.
tell artists that all the time. Like, again, I look at these younger artists today, and they just write so fast today.
Yeah.
And it's like, but just speed doesn't make it better. It just means you got through it fast. It doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
And then they don't go back to and like critique their work. Most of these guys, they just so whatever you spilled out, you're saying is perfect. And that's what I tell them. So that's what whatever you spill out is perfect. It can't get better. We're in a very competitive business. I'm always
Absolutely.
about. So if they're not thinking from a winning standpoint, what I seen the best artists go back and rewrite shit.
Right.
It's legends in the game go rewrite shit. So
Right.
what makes your ass think you could just write it one time and you
Yeah.
got it? Like, it's about the best record, and it's so competitive.
So here's another thing too, right? My idea of writer's block does not include like co-creation, right? Or having people around you that are a part of your
So if I write the hook, you don't have a verse for it, it's all right because you didn't start it.
No.
Oh,
What I'm saying is like
I'm just trying to see what you
I'm
mean.
saying is you as a manager or you as an exec.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't cover that aspect of it all because you are a part of the creativity.
Yeah.
Like they should listen, especially because you have been part of the music industry for such a long time.
I have a philosophy in my own that I use, and again with artists, I let them do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where they go. One record changes the world.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna stop them from trying something. The studio is about trial and error.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Just because you did it doesn't mean it's right, but it could be something that changes everything.
Right.
Absolutely.
You could just spark just a little bit of something that leads to what changes everything, and it's like it's all the part of the creation process. So I let all artists just dive in and go. If I give them a direction, like I'll give them a direction on a record, but wherever they want to take it creatively is up to them.
Dope.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then we kind of molded from there. I just, I worked with my son just now again.
Yeah, I remember hearing some of the stuff
Some of the
too.
stuff, yeah.
So tough.
Yeah.
So
Let me
tough.
tell you, I rapped his album, but incredible writer.
Right.
Storyteller, like he explains, he paints pictures with his words.
Right.
You're gonna listen to his songs and see everything and envision everything he's talking about. You're gonna feel it.
too. Right.
You're gonna feel it,
Right.
and that is the gift of music to me.
Right.
That is a talent. Everyone does not. Just like writers for stories, books, movies, we do not all have that same gift, right?
Right.
Of actually making a record that makes me or someone else that hears it, sees it, whatever it may be, get inspired.
Right.
Right.
But there's an audience for everybody.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if
Of course.
for the most part don't fuck with like most of the music that's out now.
Not
is
true.
It safe to say that?
No, it's not.
Well, some of the
I
music that's out
to me,
right
but
now.
I fuck with a lot of artists. There's certain things that even if they don't, let's say those mumble rappers they call it. I won't call no names, but they say mumble rappers. But I like a lot of mumble rappers shit.
Okay.
Like, and it's not because of it's the vibe.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I understand why people like it. I understand why it's successful. My job as an executive is to understand that
Right.
and figure that out to help an artist when they make something figure out how to market it. This is all marketing. Everything is marketing.
Absolutely. A hit is marketed.
You can make a record about something, anything. It could be about anything, but if the world's not ready for it, if it's not ready to be marketed to the world right now,
but there we
timing,
have it.
it won't go nowhere.
But also
But there we have it.
the mumble rap era coincides with the lean era. A lot of the
Drugs.
mumble rappers have been on lean. They're in the studio and they're like,
Yeah.
because of the version.
So,
and they're not really getting no, and that's how that shit.
hey, Murder Inc.'s
Ecstasy
real
era.
ecstasy era, yo.
It was
Yeah.
ever
I
ecstasy.
ain't gonna sit there. I didn't do that shit,
I
but
know.
I'm not the artist.
Right.
Not saying Rule didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then all the
It
other
changed the
artists,
music.
it's what made them create that sound
Right.
Absolutely.
and feel that.
They
So
needed to get there,
drugs
right, to create
and
it.
music go hand in hand.
That's a fact.
You call it what you want.
Right.
I'm not condoning it.
Right.
I'm just saying it is what it is. It's been since the beginning of this music.
Do a
shit.
little acid and
you
then
have-
do one of your classes and see what happens.
Pop a few of these pills and see,
Yo,
see if you can
you-
make a
do
new
you
record.
Would you guys believe me if I told you I've never even smoked weed?
Yeah, I believe you.
I believe you.
We know a lot of
believe
people
it.
don't smoke weed.
I mean, I've done ayahuasca before.
But you're gonna try it tonight when we get in the studio.
So let me say, what would be your advice for a comedian with writer's block? If a comedian came with you and say, hey man, I heard you.
He said
you
it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, man, but I'm saying, I got this episode I got to do for Netflix and I got to have it in by next week. And I can't figure out what do you have for me?
Well, one thing too is like, who are you surrounding yourself with? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you surrounding yourself around people that are genuine in their critique with what you're doing?
So you're saying it's energy?
It's always energy.
It's all
everything
energy.
Is everything is energy.
Yeah.
Everything
I
is
know. I just
energy.
want to reiterate.
Right. So everything is energy. You know what I'm saying? So aside from who are they letting hear these jokes, or these songs, or see these paintings, aside from that, how well are they treating themselves? Maybe you might not even need to be making jokes right now. Maybe you need to start drinking some more water. Maybe you need to start taking.
He need milk.
No, I'm serious. Like maybe you need to start taking care of yourself.
Right.
Maybe that's the universe saying, "Yo,
Right.
bro, pause.
Right.
Let's go to the doctor." You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
But you could get inspired from anything.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that's the beauty of creativity.
Absolutely.
Anything could make you get inspired to bring you to making or creating a song or whatever,
Absolutely.
writing a new skit that's for comedy.
Yes, sir.
Anything is, and you have to understand it about yourself
That's a fact.
and how to
Right.
actually tap into that shit
That's a
Right.
fact.
to get it out of you.
I think the writer's block comes from the psychological aspect of having to deliver.
Yes.
Yeah. the
So
critic.
that's why I seen it. The delivery is so big because the pressure of a record back then, not today. So it was all record labels. If you was on a label, the pressure of you delivering was super, super high.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so at the end of the day, everyone doesn't take pressure the same way.
That's
Absolutely.
a fact.
That's
You know, there's a
yeah.
reason certain niggas take the last shot all the time.
Right.
Because the other niggas didn't want it. Everyone's talking about Starks when he shot that shit in the Houston series. And, you know, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm going to bring that bullshit up. But I found out Ewing didn't want the shot. Who else was on the team at the time? He was the
Wow.
only one that wanted the
Lenny
fucking
Wilkins.
shot.
Wow.
And that's why he shot the ball so much. So don't say shit to John Starks like, why did you shoot the ball? No one wanted it. They playing hot potato.
Heard you.
I don't want it. You do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Pressure
the
was
same.
so
that
much.
goes the same way with all of this shit. It's all
Absolutely,
kind
man.
of the
That's
same.
life.
Heard
That's
you.
life, period, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Fortune favors the bold. You know, as far as, again, there's making a career out of it, right? And that's what you need, the love and the passion for, you know what I'm saying? And to be super realistic with how much work you need to do on what you're creating.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's just having fun. Period.
Ha.
You're not trying to make a career out of it. You're just trying to have fun.
Right. Enjoying
You
your
know?
life. Right.
Yeah. And my career came from having fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Soon as I went for about no lie, for about 4 years, I went through what I thought was writer's block.
Right.
But it wasn't that. I made it about money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If this new dope artist wasn't paying me, I was just like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm kind of
Right.
busy. And I
Right.
wasn't. I was home
Right.
doing
Right.
whatever the fuck. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
You was chasing the bag.
right. So once I made it about that, my creativity suffered. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
That's deep.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
so
know,
I had
that's what
to
I'm saying.
learn, you know, the hard
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
that it's about having fun, man. It's
You
about
know,
loving what you do.
Right.
They
You know what I'm
say it's not about the money.
Right.
It's not.
It's about the money.
Right. And right.
That's what one of my lawyers that I fired said. He would tell you, hey, listen, it's not about the money. It's about the money. But I understand what he means because, you know, and you hear people say, oh, I do it for free. But they don't
Right.
Right.
because they also understand their value.
Right.
So it's not about the money because they
Right.
would do it for free.
But
And
it's
if there's
about-
certain things that come up, they would still do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, and this is,
Absolutely. But
you
they're
know.
not afraid to bring up their price.
they're not
So-
afraid, and it's their value.
I
They
charge
understand
this.
the value.
Right. Absolutely.
So
And if
Jordiii-
they don't, their lawyer does or their manager
Indeed.
does.
So, Jordiii, once again, tell our listeners where they can find you at again, and I want to thank you for coming by.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank
when
you
you get
guys for
something
coming,
new, be
man.
welcome to come back.
Thank
Be
you guys
welcome
for
to
having me.
to stay behind because the next guest coming up after this music segment by DJ Marvls is going to be excited and going to
Hey.
be funny, and he's another Latino.
All
Funny
right.
El
That's
Punto The
what's up,
Spot is popping off tonight. We got a full cast of
Hey.
Latino people to be
Yeah, that's
interviewed.
why it's a Spanish name
You
in the show.
understand?
Punto.
Yo,
Well, we getting ready to turn it up and get really
Follow
super
me on
lit
Instagram,
with
man.
Roman S. He's a friend to the show. It's
Yes,
not the
sir.
first time, so you know, DJ Marvls, take us away.
Hey.
All right.
Oh, my Instagram. Sorry. So it's Jordiii Graham, Jord, 3 I's, I Graham, Gram.
Okay,
you once
Jordiii
again.
Graham, man. Appreciate you for
Glad to
coming,
have
man.
See you in
Thank
the
you.
studio in a little bit. We're gonna smoke
Yeah,
that
we're
L.
gonna put that writer's block to the
DTF Radio, highly unique radio. We're here at El Punto The Spot, powered by Adventure.